Tyrone Bowman. This is Black Wrestling News. Today I'm continuing the evolving story of the one and only WWE Black Wrestling superstar Kofi Kingston. I think about 8 days ago, I started talking about him, his evolve, where he came from, and how he got into the wrestling going on. He does have a family as well. His ring name has been Kofi Kingston, which he uses now, Kofi Nahaji Kingston, Kofi Sarkodie Mensah. He's billed as 6 feet or 183 centimeters, and his build weight is 212 pounds or 96 kilograms. He's built from Ghana, West Africa. Originally, he was billed as being from Kingston, Jamaica. He was trained by the chaotic wrestling school, Killer and he also is part of the developmental territory, Ohio Valley Wrestling. So let's pick it up. I talked about his early career, his early years. I'm just going to give you a brief overview, and then I'm going to move on from there. I talked about his ascent, his early life. I talked about his early training and early career from 2005 2006, and the World Wrestling Federation and WWE developmental territories from 2006 until 2007. I think I have a nice photo of Kofi here. Yep, I think this one was a little younger. The one and only Kofi Kingston. Leave it up there for a couple of seconds. All right, now let's move on here. Talking about Brother Kofi. That's how we address it in our community. All right, so on to his wrestling career and what is he doing right now. It's a lot of information here, but it's all good. So let's talk about Kofi's championship reigns from 2010 to 2011. But before that, I want to go back to the year of 2009 to 2010. After winning a triple threat #1 contenders match, the week before Kingston defeated Montel Vontavious Porter, known as MVP, on the June 1 episode of Raw to win the United States Championship for the first time. For the next several months, he went on to defend and retain the title at Extreme Rules, Night of Champions, Breaking Point, and Hell in a Cell, and on several episodes of Raw until losing the championship to The Miz on the October 5 episode of Raw, ending his reign at 126 days. On the October 19, 2009 episode of Raw, Kingston spoke without a Jamaican accent during a televised segment, and he dropped the Jamaican character and began being billed from his home country of Ghana. At bragging rights, Kingston wrestled as part of the Team Raw, which lost the match after Raw teammate Big Show betrayed them by chokeslamming Kingston, allowing Chris Jericho to pin Kingston to pick up the win for Team SmackDown. After Kingston interfered in a match between Randy Orton and John Cena for Cena's WWE Championship match, Orton and Kingston feuded, including a 5-man Survivor Series tag against each other where Kingston's team won after he was the sole survivor, last eliminating Orton. And at TLC, or Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, where Orton defeated Kingston, they also participated in a triple threat match, which included John Cena to determine a challenger for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. I will go on to say that that feud between Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston is an all-time classic. Look it up on YouTube. I think you will enjoy it. That showed the WWE at its best. So, around a week earlier on the January 4, 2010 episode of Raw, Kingston botched, pardon me, I slipped up there. Around a week earlier on the January 4th, 2010 episode of Raw, Kingston botched the finish of a match with Orton and kept getting up despite the plan having to be to take up a punt kick on the ground from Orton. Orton was reportedly assaulted by this, delivered a stiff RKO, and Kingston reportedly had a push stopped following complaints from Orton. He would remain a mid-carder for the next decade. Damn. man had a way of punishing people. What a vengeful SOB he was. He competed in the Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship at Elimination Chamber, but it was eliminated by the champion Sheamus. At WrestleMania 26, Kingston was unsuccessful in the Money in the Bank match, which was won by Jack Swagger. Remember Jack Swagger? I wonder where is he at now? I think he's still in AEW, not too sure. So let's talk about Kingston's reign from 2010 until 2011. On the April 26th episode of Raw, Kingston was drafted to the SmackDown brand as part of the WWE draft. He would win a tournament for the vacant International Championship on the May 14 episode of SmackDown. However, moments later, the title win was reversed when the title was returned to the previous champion, Drew McIntyre. Kingston would defeat McIntyre for the title at Over the Limit and retained in a rematch at Fatal 4-Way. On July 18 at Money in the Bank, Kingston lost the SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match, where Kane grabbed the briefcase. His Intercontinental reign would end on the August 6th episode of SmackDown, where he lost it against Dolph Ziggler. Kingston would have 3 title rematches at SummerSlam, SmackDown, and Night of Champions, but he did not win the title. On the October 15 episode of SmackDown, Kingston defeated Drew McIntyre to earn a spot on Team SmackDown at Bragging Rights. At Bragging Rights, Team SmackDown defeated Team Raw. On the December 3rd episode of SmackDown, Kingston defeated Jack Swagger to become the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship, but failed to win back the title when Swagger attacked him during the match. At TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, Kingston competed in a triple threat ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, which was won again by Ziggler on the January 7, 2011 episode of SmackDown. Kingston defeated Ziggler to become the Intercontinental Champion for a 3rd time immediately following the match. Acting General Manager Vicky Guerrero ordered that Swagger invoke his rematch clause straight away, but Kingston quickly pinned Ziggler again to retain his championship. Kingston then moved into a feud with Alberto Del Guerrero, which culminated in a non-title match at Elimination Chamber, which Kingston lost. On the March 25 episode of SmackDown, Kingston lost the Intercontinental Championship to Wade Barrett. On the April 1 episode of SmackDown, Kingston won his rematch against Wade Barrett by disqualification at WrestleMania 27 after Vladimir Kozlov was injured at the hands of the Corey. Kingston was chosen by Kozlov's replacement in an 8-man tag team match involving Kingston, Kane, Big Show, and Santino Marella versus the Corey, which Kingston's team won. On April 26, Kingston was drafted back to the Raw brand as part of the 2011 supplemental draft. At Extreme Rules, Kingston defeated Sheamus in a tables match to win his 2nd United States Championship. On the May 9 episode of Raw, Kingston successfully defended his championship against Jack Swagger. At Capital Punishment, Kingston lost the title to Dolph Ziggler. Kingston faced Ziggler in a rematch for the title on the June 20 episode of Raw in a 2 out of 3 falls match, but Ziggler retained the championship as the match. He retained the championship as the match ended with Ziggler being disqualified. On the August 2011 episode of Raw, Kingston won the WWE Tag Team Championship with Evan Bourne, or Evan Bourne, whichever way you want to pronounce it, when they defeated David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy. On the 29th episode of Raw, the duo was called Airborne, and they had their first successful title defenses when they defeated Otunga and McGillicuddy in a rematch. At Night of Champions, Airborne retained their titles against The Miz and R-Truth by disqualification after Miz attacked a WWE referee. At Hell in a Cell, I love those matches, and Vengeance, Airborne retained their titles twice against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. Bourne was suspended throughout November for his first violation of the company's wellness policy. At TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs, Airborne successfully retained their titles against Primo and Epico. On January 15, 2012, Bourne lost the tag team titles to Primo and Epico in a house show. The following night on Raw, Airborne were awarded a rematch but failed to regain the titles. The following day, Bourne was suspended again for the second violation of WWE's wellness policy. What wellness policy? Are you serious? Come on. At Royal Rumble, Kingston participated in the Royal Rumble match, and although he did not win, he had a standout moment when he saved himself from elimination by walking on his hands to reach the ring steps and re-enter the ring. At Elimination Chamber, Kingston failed to capture the WWE Championship after being eliminated third by Chris Jericho. Kingston began teaming with R-Truth on the February 27 Raw. Kingston and Truth failed to capture the WWE Tag Team Championship from Primo and Epico in a triple threat tag team match, also involving Ziggler and Swagger. On the April 30th Raw, Kingston and Truth defeated Primo and Epico to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. At Over the Limit, Kingston and R-Truth successfully defended the titles against Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger, and then again in a rematch on the May 28 episode of Raw. The following night on Raw, they successfully defended the WWE Tag Team Championships against the Prime Time Players, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. At SummerSlam, Kingston and Truth defeated the Prime Time Players to retain the WWE Tag Team Championship. At Night of Champions, Kingston and R-Truth lost the Tag Team Championship due to the team of Daniel Bryan and Kane, and failed to regain the titles from the new champions the following night on Raw. Both Kingston and Truth were defeated by the Primetime Players in the first round of the Tag Team Tournament to determine the number one contenders for the Tag Team Championships, causing both Kingston and Truth to disband as a team and each returning to being single competitors. In the next episode, or the next profile of Kingston, I'll talk about the multiple championship victories from 2010 to 2024, and then I'm going to be talking about some other things pertaining to Kofi Kingston. But for now, for Black Wrestling News, I'm Tyrone Bowman. Thank you everybody for watching, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed.